Good afternoon. I'm Amy Todd with Amy's Creative Wishes. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. And today we're going to make 2 fun fold cards using the Nature's Harvest stamp set. So this stamp set is in the new July to December mini catalog, otherwise known as the holiday catalog. And here are the 2 cards we're going to make. We're going to make what is called a joy fold card. So this flap opens this way and then this opens this way. So we'll make the joy fold. And then we are going to make, I'm not sure what the name of this fold. I want to call it a double gate fold, but I'm really not sure. But it folds like that. So let's start with the black and white joy fold card. The DSP that I'm using for this card is called Pattern Party Designer Series Paper, and it's an extra large pack. It's got like, I think, 24 sheets or something like that, and it's black and white on the one side and then colored images on the other side. Hopefully you can see all that. So it's a great pack of paper. So that's what I'm using for this card. As you can see on this one, I did the black with the white leaves. On the one I'm making today, I'm going to do black and white buffalo check. So here we go. We have a piece of basic black, measures 4 1/4 by 8 1/2, scored at 5 1/2. So you can get 2 of these out of 1 sheet of 8 1/2 by 11 cardstock. Then I have the buffalo check piece, which measures 4 by 2 3/4. I have a basic gray circle from the Layering Circles dies. This is the 3rd largest, I believe. And then I have a piece of basic white, measures 3 by 8, scored in the middle at 4. Oh, you know what? I just realized I cut this at 3 by 8 1/2. I forgot to take the 1/2 inch off. So let's do that. Sorry, now it's 3 by 8, scored at 4. And burnish that with our bone folder. So the first thing I want to do is I want to stamp. I was going to start with the other card first, but I changed my mind. So I need to clean my stamps, because I want to use the basic gray. Okay, so grab the basic gray. I'm doing tone on tone with the large floral image. So I'm gonna stamp that. And then while I let that dry, because my basic gray ink is it's pretty well inked, so I need to let that dry. And I'm stamping thank you in the upper left corner. And you want to make sure that this piece is opening the opposite way from what a card normally opens. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the, forgotten the name of it, I think it's the Timber. I think it's called Timber embossing folder. I can't remember. I'll put it in the description later. And I got a smudge on there. Let me grab my ink eraser. this is a pretty good smudge. It's not going to come off. Well, it'll probably be covered anyway. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put just half of it in the embossing folder after I've stamped the thank you. And run that through my stamp cut and emboss machine, and I'll be right back. So there, as you can see, I lined up the embossing folder with the line, the score line, the 4-inch score line, and I get this beautifully embossed wood texture. I'm done with the gray ink, so I want to get it out of my way. Let's add our DSP to our card base. Remember, this DSP is 2 3/4 by 4. And then we're going to add this to our card. And we could also actually put a piece of designer series paper here. And you know what? I think I will. I didn't do that on my last card, but I think I want to on this one. So let me grab that same, I'm going to use the same design, the buffalo check, and this already measures 4, so we're going to go by 5 1/4. And so, or you could add another embossed piece here, whichever you prefer. And then now, remember this piece opens backwards. We are going to put it in the center. Like so. And then it will open like this. And now we want to color our focal image. And what I'm using is the Watercolor Pencils. This is the original pack. There are two sets of watercolor pencils. This is the first one. And I'm going to pull out, I forgot what this is. This is Daffodil Delight, Old Olive, and Rich Razzleberry. Yep, Rich Razzleberry. So let's start with the Old Olive. We'll do the stems and the leaves. These are watercolor pencils. They're meant to just add a little bit of color and then take your water painters and move the color around and make it look like a watercolored image. But I sometimes like to just use them as pencil crayons. And that's what I'm doing here. Okay, and then that's the Old Olive, the Daffodil Delight. I'm going to color the tops of the flowers. I think I actually used pumpkin pie on the other one, but that's okay. I like the Old Olive will be nice too. And then Rich Raspberry for the petals. With the water painters, you can add depth and really add different, like, it almost looks like different layers to the colored image, but I wanted to do just something a little more simple. Here we go. Okay, so that's our colored image, and that's why I wanted to let it dry before I used my pencils. I didn't want it to smudge or run, so yeah, see, on my original, I did Pumpkin Pie. This one I did Daffodil Delight, and I like both. And now we're going to put this on with dimensionals. Okay, 4 should do it. And on my sample, I put this image a little too much to the right. It makes it a little more difficult to open the card. So now I'm gonna, you can see, I'm not gonna go over this edge because then I won't be able to open it nicely. I'm going to put it right up to that edge though, and to the bottom. There we go. And then for embellishments, I'm using the opal rounds. These are in the annual catalog. Put one there. It's a large one. Put a small one beside it. And another small one on the gray piece. And we are done that card. So these are, again, pretty fun and easy cards to make. Just remember 8.5 by 4 1/4 and score at 5.5. And then the white pieces 3 by 8 scored at 4. So they're fairly simple. They're not a complicated one, but they give a wow because they open differently. And yeah, I like that extra piece of the buffalo check DSP. Here's the original. So it's without the DSP on the inside and with the DSP on the inside. I think both are great. But now let's get on to this card. I will show it to you again. And it is, like I said, I'm not sure the name. I'm going to call it a double gatefold because I'm not sure what else to call it. But, and I've seen, I didn't mention, but this joyfold has been around for years. I've seen it done by many demonstrators. So I didn't really case anybody in particular because there's, as I said, I was looking for different fun folds that I haven't done yet, and I was watching some YouTube videos, and I came up with this one and this one. But again, it was several different demonstrators doing it, so I can't really pinpoint one demonstrator. I don't know who designs these folds. This one also has been around for years. I know I made this years and years ago when I first got into card making. This was one of the first fun folds I made, and I really enjoyed it, so I thought I would bring it back. So what we need is a piece of designer series paper. As you can see, I'm using a different design this time. And it comes from the Harvest Meadow 12 by 12 designer series paper pack. And it's your basic size. There's only, I think, 12. 6 of each to 6 of each 2 designs, if that makes sense. So it's a great designer series paper pack, but I wanted to make sure that I picked one that wasn't directional, because if it's directional, it can be a little bit more complicated for this fold. So I made sure I picked one that wasn't directional on either side. So this is Misty Moonlight, and this is Calypso Coral. So we're going to use a piece of Calypso Coral, which measures 3 3/4 by 5. I have a piece of Basic White, measures 3 5/8 by 4 7/8. And then I have, from the Layering Circles dies, I believe this was the second largest scalloped circle, and the third largest regular circle, and they're going to layer like that, just like they do in my sample. But first, what we need to do is we need to put in some score lines, and I wanted to show you this because I want you to see the score lines I do and then the tick marks that I do. So we're going to score, I don't know if you're seeing all this, but I'm going to score it at 2, 4, 8, and 10. And when you're scoring designer series paper, you want to make sure you're not scoring it too hard, because it can puncture right through. Because it's a thinner paper than cardstock. It can be a little sorry, I'm just trying to measure this. Okay, then you want to take your ruler, and at the 2 3/4 inch mark, which is the halfway mark, you're going to make a little tick. At one end of the cardstock, or the designer series paper, and at the other, 2 3/4, make a little tick. And what you're going to do is, it's easier to see on this side. So I'm putting the second score line, the top of the second score line, in the groove, and then that tick mark that I just made in the groove, and cut. And do the same for the other side. The tick mark I made in the second score line, which is difficult for me to see. Okay, so now we want to take our bone folder. I'm going to do it this way. We're going to fold and fold back. We're going to fold this way. And fold back. There we go. Okay, so as you can see, I just folded frontwards and then backwards, frontwards and then backwards on itself. So now we have this, but we aren't going to waste these two pieces that we cut off. What we're going to do is fold them on the score line. Fold them on the score line, burnish. Fold them on the score line and burnish. And what we're going to do is we're going to glue these to here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use liquid glue because it gives me a little wiggle room. I'm going to take this like so. And glue that down. And then take this and add some glue to it. There we go. Do the same to this one. Put some glue on the first tiny little triangle there. And glue that down. And then flip this back and add some glue to it. And there we go. And there, you've got the folds. But I've got some glue that I need to get rid of, so I'm going to get my adhesive eraser. Unfortunately, Stampin' Up! Doesn't sell these adhesive erasers anymore. They haven't for years. But believe it or not, I found this at a dollar store, and it works great. It works just as good as a Stampin' Up! One. So, but if you can't find it at your dollar store, I think it was Dollar Tree I found it at. If you can't find it at your dollar store, you can go to any craft store and they should carry it, or even Amazon. Okay, so now with our, actually let's start with our circle. But first we need to clean our stamps because we use basic gray on them. I'm using the same 2 stamps for both cards, so. And this cleaner I'm using, if you're not familiar with Stampin' Up, is the Stampin' Up! Simply Chamois. All you have to do is wet it with water and wring it out so it's not soaping wet. And you've got a great cleaner. So I'm inking this up in Calypso Coral. And the whole image won't fit on here, but the prettiest parts will. Just like on the last card. So there we go. And we still have some ink on that stamp. So I just huff on it. And I'm going to put some floral image on the inside of the card. There we go. So it's not as bright, but it's still pretty. And it'll still match. Oh, and we want to take Misty Moonlight. And on the floral circular piece, we're going to stamp Thank You. There we go. I just got ink on myself. I stuck my finger in the blue ink. It never fails. Blue ink and I do not mix well. I'm always become a mess. I know a lot of demonstrators have that same problem with red ink, but for me it's blue ink. Not sure why. So I'm just layering this basic white piece to the Calypso Coral. And then we're going to layer that on the inside of our card. There we go. And then layer this to our scallop circle. And then this I want to put on the front. But I obviously don't want to put glue on both sides, otherwise I will glue it shut and it won't open. So what I want to do is only put adhesive on this side, but what I'm going to use is Stampin' Dimensionals. And so in order to know where to put it so I don't go too far over to the right, I'm going to flip this upside down and use the fold of the card as a guide. Oh, hi, Landra. Nice to see you. Thanks for joining. This is the second card I'm making. If you missed the first card, you can always go back and watch the replay. So there. Now I know there's no, as you can see, I didn't go too far over. And so there's no Stampin' Dimensionals to the right. And there is that fun fold. And now, I didn't put any embellishments on my sample, but I think I want to. So, you are going to help me decide. Do I... No. Well, on this one, I could put the Playing with Patterns resin dots, because that's Bumblebee, I'm pretty sure. Or I could put the gold glitter enamel dots. I could put gilded gems or champagne rhinestones. So, oh, thank you, Alondra. I appreciate that. If you can write in the comments what you think would look best, or what you would like, which you would like me to use on these cards. The gold glitter enamel dots, champagne rhinestones, gilded gems, which are gold, or playing with resin dots. Although the playing with resin dots, only one will match. Because I don't think there's only the 3 colors. Yeah. So let's maybe leave that one out because they won't match this card I made today. So gilded gems, champagne rhinestones, or gold glittery enamel dots. Oh, hi Jennifer. Thanks for watching. And you're saying the gilded gems? Okay, let's go for it. If you're watching, please let me know where you're watching from. And if it's your first time watching, welcome. I have a lot more videos you can go back and watch if you're interested in seeing some more fun folds, because I've done a lot of fun folds in my videos. Okay, I'm going to use my take your pick tool again. And I need new putty. Oh, there we go. There's one there. So there's 3 sizes of these gilded gems. So there's that card. And take another large one. Put that there. A medium there. And a small beside it. There we go. So that is our cards for today. I hope you enjoyed them. So there's this card. And this card. So I hope you enjoyed these fun folds. Again, this is a double gate fold. And this is a joy fold. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. You can reach me on this is my Facebook page, so you can private message me here. Or my email address is amyscreativewishes@gmail.com. Yeah, so if you have any questions about anything you saw today, or you'd like the measurements again, please let me know. I can definitely provide you with any information. And if you saw anything that you would like to purchase and you don't have it already, please go to amyscreativewishes.stampinup.net. That is my shopping page. And you can get anything you've seen here except the 2 erasers. The adhesive eraser, like I said, you can get either at a dollar store or Amazon or a craft store. The sand eraser for ink, the only place I have found this was Amazon. So just make sure you look for the Mono Tombow Sand Eraser and make sure it's for ink, because there's a few of them. There's one for typewriter and one for something else. You want the one for ink. So thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed my cards. If you did, please like and share this video. That would really help me out. If you haven't already, please go to my YouTube channel, Amy's Creative Wishes, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I would really appreciate that as well. And if you hit the little bell, you'll get notified every time I upload a new video, which I will be uploading this video to my YouTube channel shortly. So thank you so much for watching. You have yourselves a wonderful weekend, and I will see you next Friday, same time, same place, 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Thanks again.